Hey guys, today is December 13th, and today marks my 7 years on testosterone. I had my first shot on my 50th birthday, so I am 57 today. And what a journey, huh? So, people who are at our stage look back and think how time has flown. But if we really reflect back on our journey, we know in the beginning it was slow. I mean, changes were slow. Things were not moving as fast as we wish they were. And so I'm going to kind of see if I can do this a little bit more. I had to come out in my kitchen because even though I've got the light around me, it was really a bright aura. And I don't want to misrepresent myself, even though my aura does tend to be bright. um, I didn't want to have you guys looking at a glowing head. So real quick, what I'm going to do today is I got a couple questions from this guy, Chris, on one of my videos, and I told him I would address it today in the video. So, and excuse my hair, it's changing itself, and I'll talk about that a little bit. So Chris asked, at what point in your journey on T did people misgender you anymore? People who would see you for the first time undoubtedly consider you male for sure. So without going back on my videos, and if you have the time, go back and look at my earlier videos. But I believe it was like 2 years into my transition. And most part for my journey was because I had a very conservative endo in the beginning who only gave me 25 milligrams a week. And I was not getting anything. And when she did up at 10 milligrams every 2 weeks, so it's 5 a week, my T levels went a little high and she got nervous. So I fought with her for probably a year and a half regarding my testosterone levels, my dosage, and those things. And I finally asked for a second opinion. So the second opinion got me right on board 75 milligrams a week. Right off the bat, no arguments. And I started getting the lower voice. I started getting the hair. And once the hair came on the chin, I started letting it grow out. And you'll see a lot of guys do that because that is their security, or it was my security blanket. I knew if someone saw hair down here on my face, that even if they questioned my gender, that would probably tell them, okay, I don't, he's a guy. So one of the things I always had an insecurity about was my eyebrows. Uh, as a teenager, someone said pluck your, in order to pluck your eyebrows, you have to lift them up, and there's a line. Mine were so bushy that they bothered me, so I started plucking and plucking, and that's what I got was this, and they never grew back. Yeah, my mom, I got that from my mom. Shaving eyebrows was in when she was a teenager, and she shaved hers, and they never grew back. Yeah. So if my eyes were a little bit bushier, I think that uh, I might have passed a little bit more earlier on in my transition. But who's to say? That's irrelevant. But we all are different, and I want you to understand that even on high amounts of testosterone, genetics comes into play. If your family isn't real hairy, you may not become real hairy. That might take longer, depending on your ethnic background. Hispanics aren't real hairy people. It just depends on genetics too. For example, my hair, as you can see, is thinning. There is nobody in my family with thin hair. Not on my mom's side and not on my dad's side. But yet, I got this. Now, my mom's uncles, we only have a picture of them where they're in their mid 30s, 40s, so, and I don't see anybody bald or anything. But, and then we don't know her biological father's side, but if it comes from the mother's side, that's who we'd look at. It doesn't matter really, because once you start transitioning, it is what it is. If you've got the money to go get implants and all that stuff, and that's what you want to do, that's what you do. But mine is, it was a lot thinner because of a medication, but it's grown back. But yeah, so everyone is different, and you'll start noticing your confidence when your voice drops and when you start getting a little facial hair. And it's how you represent yourself too, or present yourself uh, with some confidence. If you are shy and meek, they may go with the female if they're questioning, just because of your less assertiveness. A lot of times males are more assertive than females. Not always, but a lot of times they are, as the norm to people to society. The second question is, I just want to answer his questions real quick. My new glasses is, and can you say if the flexible rod implant is in any way uncomfortable every day? Is it attached to the bone by glue or just randomly fixed on? So I probably have discussed this in the beginning phalloplasty videos I did. So if you want to reference back to the whole experience, I would suggest you do that. But for your question, I would say I've only felt discomfort, I think maybe once, and is when, this is my penis. When he's hanging down, but the underwear holds you up like this, and see how it's bent, and I have him down, that has hurt me. So I have to bend him to the side to relieve that bend right there against my pelvic bone. So on a norm, no, there's no discomfort. I don't know how to explain it. It just hangs there. I don't have any feeling to touch unless you hit the nerve area, and even that, it goes down to the tip of my clitoris where it's attached. So I don't have any sensation, so to speak, in my penis. There's other guys who have, and I envy them, but you know, you got to take it with a grain of salt. I had no complications, and I healed real fast, but I just didn't get the by touch sensation that other people talk about. But I do have the nerve, and you can just kind of skim the top of my penis, and it will it's electrifying where the clitoris is buried, because those two are attached. The clitoris nerve is attached to the sheath. The nerve they take out of your arm, they use it as a sheath because it's dead once they cut it. And that nerve from the clitoris grows in that sheath, and as it grows to the tip of your penis, and mine is clear to the tip. So in that area, yes, I can feel it, but it's all in my junior, as I call it. So that's with the semi-rigid rod. Again, you can go back on earlier phalloplasties and see what I talk about if you want to know more. I have a video about everything that's pertained to me in my transition. So anyway, those are those questions, Chris, and I hope that helps you. I feel really good. I'm glad I'm happy with the decisions I made. Now I will update you on some stuff now that it is my 7th year on T. So everything's still going good. I've still done some videos here and there, but we're going to talk about my hair real quick. So see the curl? Yeah. I had straight hair my whole life. You can't really see it on the sides, but I'm not coordinated with this. This little hair that goes over my ear to the back, it's got a little curl to it too. And Tony just gave me a haircut. So what happened is I usually go to the sides, and my hair does fine on the side. But since I've been wearing the CPAP face mask, the band of it goes right here, and my hair has been parting. And so when I do it on the side, it won't go on the side. It's got like a what's that called? A cowlick. And she told me when she cut it, she says, I'm going to cut it to where you just pull it back. Well, my bald spots are in my very back. I have a weird shaped head. So my skull doesn't round off. My skull does this. It's not flat on the back. When the rounding part comes, mine does a slant. And I have calyx really bad back there, and that's where it's balding. It looks balding because my hair is laying different ways. So yeah, I'm kind of lost about hair. You go back in my earlier videos, and I had a head full of hair, and it was straight. That's why I was able to wear that straight spike cut. But yeah, so I've got the wild curls now, and I'm trying to see. This is still, oops, this is still spiky. My hair, once you train it, it wants to stay that way. But I'm training it. I'm trying to get it to go all the way back. I have receded a lot. From my other videos, I was right here. So about what, inch and a half, 2 inches? Yeah. I'm happy. I still love who I see in the mirror. I wouldn't change this for the world. And so other things physically that's been going on with me is that they sent me to a rheumatologist, and he ran all kinds of tests. He said that everything came out negative, but I do have Reynolds disease in my fingers, and there is a medication I can take, but I chose not to. He said down the road, way down the road, it could cause other pains in my fingers or whatever. Well, I already have that, so I didn't go into that. And I was diagnosed with lupus when I was younger, and one of the tests came back speckled, but he didn't address that. He said I was negative. So I'll let it go for now. I don't want to have lupus, but I just want to make sure that my body isn't made to operate on 3 legs instead of 4 legs that it could, if you know what I mean. I'm very pro-body, trying to keep myself healthy to live a good, decent life. I'm still young, and I already have a workers' comp injury that works against me every day. So I did see a rheumatologist. Everything's good. It showed a little bit of a urine infection, and he asked me if I had any symptoms. I said no. He said then I wouldn't worry about it. Okay. He said just drink more water. Well, I drink water all day long, so I'll try to put more in. But anyway, so I've been really, you see my joints. I have really been suffering with my, I have carpal tunnel, and my hand pain. I still do projects, but I really suffer. My elbows have been really hurting lately, and the bones in my feet. Now, my feet always hurt. I'm always about a 5 in the morning on a scale of 1 to 10. I do have my stimulator now, and I have it on all the time except for I can't wear it when I sleep, and that really gets to me. I was up at 2 this morning with the feet. I was dreaming I was having pain in my feet, and it woke me up, and I was having pain in my feet. So, yeah, dealing with all that, it's just been a real hard time, and I think what's really made it hard is the weather has changed. We don't get snow maybe once every 25 years, but our cold front goes down into the high 40s, early 50s, between that and 62, and that's cold for us here. So I think maybe that's the reason why everything's aching. He told me that was fibro. Excuse me. I did test positive pressure points back in my 20s for fibro. Once again, I don't feed into all these symptoms all the time. I told him, you know what, I'm just going to, he goes, there's medicine for that? I said, no. I don't like to take medication unless I have to, doctor. And he says, that's good. I said, I'll work through it until I can't work through it anymore. So I'll just do what I've been doing, just take Tylenol, ibuprofen, whatever it takes. But that's what's been going on with me. It has nothing to do with transition, but of course transition isn't the only thing in our lives. It's our regular everyday life and how we handle things. And that's what I like to document. It's not just the transition. We can't forget the other part of our lives and just focus. We do that in the very beginning. We forget everybody around us, involved with us, whatever we have to do. We hold it to a minimum, and we focus everything on us. our changes, what if we've grown a hair. You know, some guys break out with pimples really bad and hate that part of it and can't wait to get past that. Sex drive for people, a lot of people go way out. Mine did not. I did have an increase, but mine didn't go crazy. Maybe it's just being older. Maybe it's the way my body's older, so it didn't put me through that. I don't know. But anyway, I am going to go to. I have requested to have a consult with the doctors regarding my penis and my scrotum because it's dropped. That's what I wanted to talk to Chris. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that. The rod is sutured to the pelvic bone. So I have 4 large sutures, from what I understand, that are as strong as fishing wire, I guess, something like that. They said it was real thick, mounted to my pelvic bone, and that's how the erection device doesn't come off, and you don't have to worry about it falling off or whatever, coming unglued or whatever. So, but anyway, so I am going to see a doctor. I've asked for a consult to see if they can lift me up. So right now, this is my sac and this is my penis, and I'm hanging so far down my leg that my underwear is really I'm starting to have an issue with all the underwear I have. That's been fine, but it's just, I think it's the weight that has caused my skin to sag more. And I don't understand why I possibly could be lower if that rod is attached to my pelvic. But when you feel it and I lift my skin up, everything comes back up. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if they'll do anything about it or if they say that's just something I have to live with. Other than that, I'm perfectly fine. My scrotum looks like a scrotum, and I will tell you that hair grows around the scrotum, and I shave it because if I don't shave that hair, it becomes smelly because I sweat so much. Now, my sweat doesn't smell, but that area there with the gland, I think, and stuff, I don't know if if they take out the gland or not when they do the vasectomy. But anyway, regardless, it's not real strong. Only I can smell it. My wife never can smell it, and I can't stand it. So I do shave the scrotum and keep myself kind of, cleaned up there. But yeah, 7 years on testosterone, and what a journey. I have a hard time even going back on my beginning videos because the voice and seeing where I was, and I kind of feel sorry for the female that had to carry me for 50 years, the body, and the person inside was always me, but being oppressed and hidden and not being able to flourish, it saddens me. And I guess now, since I'm way past that I don't like to be reminded of that. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm very appreciative for my journey as female, where she brought me to. But there are times for me when something is done that I have to let that go so I can move on, because I don't want to keep feeling sad that I went through that. I went through it and it was sad. And all the pain and stuff that I went through, I just don't like to remind myself constantly of that. It was hard enough during that time, but now I've been freed. It's like the inmate going back and visiting the prison. You don't want to do that. So I'm respectful and I'm appreciative, and I have gratitude for everything, where I was, how I got here, and where I am now. So I'm just going to keep building this body and feeding it and trying to detox it and get it back to where it was 2 years ago, so that I can move on and feel good about myself body-wise too, and be able to show some of that muscle I have, because I do develop muscle really easy. And yeah, my upper body looks really nice when I'm muscled up. So you guys, take it one day at a time and always make your journey as simple as possible. We'll talk to you later. Bye.